Worldwide leader in sports is proud to present one of the great traditions of summer, the American Legion World Series. From Cashman Field, it's the championship game. Cherryville, North Carolina, and Edwardsville, Illinois. Hi, everyone. I'm Rich Waltz. Welcome to Cashman Field in Las Vegas. Welcome to a great tradition. Heck, just ask any big league player about the American Legion. They played it, most of them did, when they were growing up. In fact, working with me tonight, a former big leaguer who is famous in Southington, Connecticut. It was post-72. In fact, they said he was better back in the American Legion than he was in the National League. He went on to a great career, and he's with me tonight. All right, Rob Dibble, American Legion baseball certainly is a special thing, and obviously the championship game, big stuff for these kids.
Oh, this is a huge opportunity for these kids. They've been playing all summer just for this opportunity to play. There's 5,000 American Legion baseball teams across the country, and I'll tell you what a tribute it is to this sport. Great town, Las Vegas, and you get to play a championship game in this stadium.
Yeah, this stadium is the AAA stadium for the San Diego Padres, and there's a guy for Cherryville, North Carolina that may be here in a couple of years. We're talking about Ralph Roberts.
Well, I think the Padres would love to see Ralph Roberts in this stadium. He's a 27th round pick of the San Diego Padres. He's got 26 home runs this summer, and in the last 2 years, he's only lost one game as a pitcher. So you've got a five-tool player in Ralph Roberts. He'll be playing center field and hitting second for Cherryville.
I'll tell you what you've got with Edwardsville, Illinois. You've got some guys that have been together a lot. Basically, these guys play for Edwardsville High School. They've been together a long time. Their leader is their shortstop, Chad Opal.
Yes, Chad Opal. I'll tell you, this team was 40-0. They were state champions this year. Chad Opal's hitting 700 in the tournament. He's their shortstop, and he'll be hitting second for Illinois tonight.
It's a great tradition. We're glad you're with us from Las Vegas. It's the championship game of the American Legion World Series. Coming up, Cherryville, North Carolina, Edwardsville, Illinois. The lineups are next.
Demanded better training facilities. Insisted on new uniforms and equipment. Held out for hundreds of free tickets. These guys will stop at nothing to get whatever they can for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Major League Baseball charities and the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, giving kids a world of opportunities.
Are rich people taller than the rest of us? Are their loved ones more deserving of an airbag? Was the sun created solely for their enjoyment? Are we the only car company that doesn't think so? Century by Buick, full of amenities for under $20,000, loaded for under $24. Century by Buick, a luxury car for everyone.
When the heat starts to bite.
Junior shootings.
A part of our community service.
ESPN's coverage of the 1998 American Legion World Series is being brought to you by Gatorade, the official sports drink of American Legion Baseball, and by Buick. Isn't it time for a real car? Las Vegas is a city of many sights and sounds. Moments ago, these the sights and the sounds from nearby Nellis Air Force Base. Some F-15s on the flyover, just setting the stage for the championship game of the American Legion World Series. Welcome back to Cashman Field, Edwardsville, Illinois, Cherryville, North Carolina. Let's take a look at the lineup for Edwardsville, Illinois. Ken Shockey is their head coach. Dave Crothers leads it off. He's in center field. Tim Hansel's at second base. Chad Opal, we told you about him. He's at short, hitting third. Todd Haug, the catcher, the emotional leader of this team. Nick Seibert, who had a big win as a pitcher, is in left field tonight. Matt Turner at first base. They call him Bubba. Chris McCoy's at third base, hitting seventh. Matt Bogle, the designated hitter. And Corey Kuba is in right field. He's hitting ninth. For the defense, here's Rob Dibble.
We have a very good Cherryville defense in left field. You have Josh Cobb in center field. You have Ralph Roberts. Right field, you have Bryson Willis. On infield, you have Brian Sigma's going to play third base. At shortstop, you're going to have Wes Dirty Hudson. You're going to hear us call him Dirty a lot tonight because he's going to be diving, making a lot of great plays. Second base, you're going to have Brad Lane. First base, you'll have Wes Anthony. On the hill tonight, Brian Sigmund.
Brian Sigmund, the right-hander. And the first pitch is up. Dave Crothers leading it off, the center fielder for Edwardsville. And he takes down low. Brian Sigmund, fastball, curveball. He'll sidearm it a little bit as well, Rob.
Yes, he's going to throw a lot of junk at you. He doesn't throw it more than 80 to 82, 83 miles an hour. But he can move the ball up and down all around. He's going to throw from every arm angle. Doing the catching, I forgot, Justin Sanford is going to be his battery mate. And the word on Sigmund is that he comes right at you with good command.
And he throws a strike, so the count now at 3-1. There's a look at Crothers, and he lines one into left field for a base hit. He's had a great tournament, came in at 455, and he leads off with a single. It'll bring Tim Hansel to the plate.
Well, Sigmund right there, he left the pitch up in the zone, and Crothers just smashed it into left field. Very good hitting ball clubs on both sides of the diamonds tonight, Rich, and you're going to see a lot of hits in this one.
We may see many pitchers as well, Rob, because both of these teams, to get to the championship game, had to play a lot of baseball.
Yes, they did. Some of them played 70 games this season, but those are some of the places where they don't have regular high school baseball. For the most part, though, like Illinois, they played, I think, 45 games to get here. They had to play 16 or 17 games in the tournament to get here, and then they come with the final 8 teams to get to the final two teams.
Dave Crothers at first, the pitch to Hansel. He squares the bunt, and he takes a strike, and Brian Sigmund's out in front at 0-2. Crothers can run. He's got 6 stolen bases. Hansel is your prototypical number 2 hitter. And the 0-2. He got him. So Brian Sigmund, who's not overpowering, gets his first strikeout. And shortstop Chad Opel will come to the plate.
Well, Rich, right there, Sigmund threw a great changeup, and it was almost looked like it was a pitch out, like they were expecting Crothers to take off and go to second base. Pitch was high and outside, and Hansel went after it, and he's sitting on the bench because of it.
Now Opel. Crothers at first. We're just underway. Top of the first. Edwardsville at the plate, and leaning at first is Crothers. They've got him picked off. Wes Anthony to the shortstop Hudson, and Dirty Wes Hudson going to tag him out. And there's 2 outs.
Dirty just ran him down. As soon as Crothers hit the dirt, fell down, it was an easy play.
And a big play defensively for Cherryville, North Carolina.
Well, let's talk about Sigmund a little bit. He's a quarterback at Lincolnton High, and we're going to talk a lot about a lot of the kids. They give up an awful lot for the summer to play baseball in the American Legion, and to go this far, some kids are already into college. Some high school seasons have already started, and Brian's a quarterback at his football team back in Lincolnton High, and they got their butts kicked last week. They want him back.
They're struggling right now. On the ground to the second baseman, Brad Lane to first. Chad Opel is out, and a nifty inning by Brian Sigmund as Cherryville, North Carolina going to come to the plate. Edwardsville, Illinois, nothing. We're headed to the bottom of the first.
Now in Seguin, it's Rent Town, where you have the choice of 12 months rent to own.
And that means big savings for you.
Also, there's no down payment, no credit check, and free delivery.
Rent Town has the largest selection with over 3,800 square feet of brand name furniture, appliances, TVs, VCRs, and stereos.
Hurry in and save now at Rent Town, the home of 12 months to own, 410 East Court in Seguin.
Se habla español.
You don't have to drive yourself crazy looking for a clean, late model car or truck you can afford. Take the short drive on Interstate 35 to Wallace Lundgren Autoplex in San Marcos. Choose from over 100 late model cars and trucks, all priced to sell. A 97 Chevy Extra Cab Stepside, ready to go for only $16,988. Or how about an extra clean 95 Chevy Corsica 4-door with automatic and air? Drive it out for only $49,88. Take a look at the terrific selection, then drive out in the car, truck, or SUV of your choice. Wallace Lundgren Autoplex, Interstate 35, between the Wonderworld and 123 exits in San Marcos.
The helmet camp. Number 1, it was gimmicky. Number 2, it never worked. And number 3, you're an idiot. Now who's playing cards?
ESPN Sunday Night Football. 17 weeks, 18 games, under the lights.
You know, I don't appreciate being called an idiot. Just because you fear technology, that's not my fault. I've been called a lot of things at this table, but an idiot will not be one of them.
ESPN Sunday Night Football. The season begins September 6th.
I'll be afraid to wear that helmet, Cam. The radio waves might mess up my mind.
The first no score. Let's take a look at the lineup for Cherryville, North Carolina. Bobby Reynolds is their head coach, and they lead it off with their second baseman, Brad Lane. Lane at second base in that leadoff spot. Cherryville at 41-14. There's a look at Lane. He's followed by Ralph Roberts, who's had a great series. John Mackey has the distinction of hitting behind Ralph, which Bobby Reynolds says is a big spot in the lineup. He's at third base. Wes Hudson, Dirty Wes Hudson, the shortstop in the cleanup spot. Josh Cobb is in left field hitting fifth. Justin Samford, the catcher. Brian Sigmund will do the pitching, and he'll hit seventh. Wes Anthony, a good fielding first baseman, is in the 8th spot. And Bryson Willis, the second leadoff man, is in the 9 spot. Defensively, Edwardsville, Illinois. Rob?
Well, defensively, Rich, you're going to have Nick Seibert playing left field. You're going to have Dave Crothers playing center field. And you're going to have Corey Kuba playing right field. On the infield, at third base, you're going to have Chris McCoy. At first base, you'll have Matt Turner. Up the middle, you're going to have Chad Opel and Tim Hansel. And the battery for tonight is going to be pitcher James Hutton. And the guy that's going to catch him tonight is going to be Todd Haug.
There's a look at Hutton. Hutton at 2-1, a 3.27 Ernie. That's in postseason play. That includes regional play and the American Legion World Series here in Las Vegas. Both of these teams had a loss in this tournament coming in towards the championship game, but they both had big wins last night.
Yes, and the number 2 hitter, Ralph Roberts, pitched 4 innings in last night's game. And one of the Legion rules that we're going to talk about tonight is that you can pitch 12 innings over a 3-day period. And you can't pitch any more than 12 innings. So if need be, Ralph Roberts could get the call later in the game.
Hutton misses outside. Fastball, slider, a changeup, and he will drop sidearm. Brad Lane, the second baseman, leading it off. And his numbers speak for themselves. Outside corner, it's 1-1.
Well, Rich, when you get to a big game like this, you usually win with pitching and defense. And you saw, Sigmund, Ryan Sigmund, he did a great job in the first inning, and James Hutton's going to try and do the same.
Little line drive, going to drop into center field. A base hit, a leadoff single for Brad Lane. So both teams start their first innings with base hits.
Yes, sir. The leadoff hitters come out swinging. Here's the delivery from James Hutton. You're going to see him. A very nice, deliberate delivery. He comes to the plate, dropping down a little bit, drop and drive type pitcher. But Brad Lane all over it. Neither pitcher on either side is going to bring the heat. They're going to throw in the low 80s tops. So you're going to see a lot of aluminum on the ball tonight.
Ralph Roberts, 5 homers, 15 RBIs, and he's had a great World Series on the mound as well. Outside corner, and it's 0-1. As you mentioned earlier, 27th round pick of the Padres. And the Padres have been following him through this World Series and through the regionals.
Yes, they have. I mean, sometimes you drop down to 27th round because maybe you didn't get the proper scouting. Some high schools are way out in the boondocks, and Cherryville, North Carolina might not be one of the favorite stops of a scout, and they say that they've already upped the money to a 10th round pick with Ralph Roberts because of what he's done in the tournament.
High chopper towards second. Tim Hansel, the Chad Opel. There's one. Not in time at first. Roberts is safe. And so Ralph Roberts is aboard. 1 out. And John Mackey is coming to the plate. Cherryville, North Carolina had to beat Danville, California 5-4 last night. Edwardsville, Illinois took care of State College, Pennsylvania by a score of 9-3.
It was a spectacular game last night too, Rich. It was won in the bottom of the 9th inning with an in-the-park home run. And Ralph Roberts had to come in for the last 4 innings and out of center field and pitch, and he got the win in last night's victory.
Hutton misses outside. It's 1-0.
So, Rich, not only can Ralph Roberts hit really well, and he hit 26 home runs this season like we talked about in the Open, plays a great center field, but he's also a tremendous pitcher. So the one problem the Padres might have is what are we going to do with this guy? Where are we going to put him?
He's at first base right now with 1 out. Bottom of the first, no score. The 1-0. And it's 1-1. The man at the plate right there is a pretty good pitcher as well. He went 5 innings in last night's win over Danville.
Well, the one thing about Legion ball, Rich, is that when I played, we were lucky to get 9 players to come out and play every night. And a lot of these teams, very short on pitchers and extra bench players. Illinois only has 14 on their team.
Line down the left field line. It's a fair ball. Over for it is Seibert. Roberts is going to stop at second base. And North Carolina with runners at first and second and 1 out. Nick Seibert with a nice play down the left field line.
Well, Rich, John Mackey right here is going to get a pitch that he likes very, very nicely. James Hutton's going to deliver it right in there, and Mackey just whacks it down the left field line. He was all over that breaking pitch. That's like we said earlier in the first inning, that neither pitcher throws very hard. They have to rely on a lot of junk and mixing the ball up in and out. And so far, right now, Cherryville looks to have the edge on Edwardsville in the first inning.
The cleanup hitter is not your prototypical cleanup hitter. Wes Dirty Hudson weighs 145 pounds, soaking wet. Breaking pitch misses outside from Hutton.
Rich, when we were talking to Bobby Reynolds, the coach at Cherryville, he was talking about, you know, even the number 9 hole hitter, Bryson Willis, is just a base hit type hitter. He's basically a leadoff hitter in the 9 hole. He just puts guys where he thinks they can do the most good, get on base for maybe a Josh Cobb or a Justin Sanford to drive them in. So, you know, Wes might not be the power number 4 hitter you like, but he's also a nice guy to follow up John Mackey and Ralph Roberts.
Roberts at second, Mackey's at first.
Hutton right there. He's worried about Ralph Roberts taking third base.
He's got a pretty good defense up the middle. He'd like to keep the double play in order. But he's fallen behind Hudson at 3-0.
Well, anytime you're not a power pitcher and you know you're not going to get a lot of strikeouts, Rich, you have to defend. You have to rely, on your defense to make a lot of great plays for you if you want to win ball games. And Hutton keeps the ball low and tries to get the ground balls.
And it's 3-1.
Right there, you see a nice little sinking fastball that he rode into the left-hander's batter's box and got it right across the plate. And Hudson really had no chance on the 3-0 pitch.
1 out, the 3-1. It hit him. And Wes Hudson doing what he does best, get on base. Bases are loaded now, 1 out. And James Hutton's in some trouble.
Well, I'm sure Ken Shockey really didn't want this to happen. He didn't want his pitcher to run into problems in the first inning, throw a lot of pitches, and not have good command of his stuff. But, you know, you get that first inning jitters, Rich, in a big game like this. I mean, like we said in the Open, 5,000 teams, and now you're down to the last 2. And, you know, you're hoping that your pitcher goes out and has an easy first inning and sets the tone for the rest of the game. But right now, Hutton is really struggling with his command.
Josh Cobb, the batter, and he takes outside. And it's 1-0.
You know, Rich, right there you can see Hutton really struggling all over the place with his delivery, and he needs to pick up the catcher right here and just try to get one in there and let his defense do some work behind him.
The 1-0. And it's 1-1. Both coaches, Bobby Reynolds of North Carolina and Ken Shockey of Illinois, told us that they would not hesitate to go to their bullpen.
Well, there's no more games after tonight, so if you have to use everybody on your team to pitch, you're going to do it.
The 1-1 to Cobb is outside, and it's 2-1. Bases loaded. No score, bottom of the first. And the count now 2-2. At third base, Ralph Roberts. John Mackey's at second. Wes Hudson at first. The 2-2. Cobb swings and misses. And James Hutton with a timely strikeout. Base is still loaded. And Justin Sanford coming up.
Well, Rich, Hutton did a great job after he fell behind on Cobb right there. He really did a great job of coming back, and he stayed away from him, and then he came back with another nice slider on the outside part of the plate. Cobb had no chance.
The first pitch to Sanford. Fly ball center field. Dave Crothers coming in, makes the catch. And just like his counterpart Brian Sigmund, James Hutton escapes untouched from the first. North Carolina and Illinois scoreless. We're headed to the second.
For college.
Cashman Field in Las Vegas, home of the Las Vegas Stars, the AAA affiliate of the San Diego Padres. Championship game of the American Legion World Series. Night is just falling. It is a gorgeous night here in the desert. Temperatures were up around 102 today. They've dropped off about 90 degrees at game time. Brian Sigmund ready for his second inning of work. Both pitchers, Rob Dibble, pretty impressive in how they extracted themselves out of the first inning.
Well, Sigmund was a lot more impressive, I think, than Hutton was. But Hutton, once he found his command, he made his pitches. He got a huge strikeout of Josh Cobb there to get the second out of the inning. And then he got Justin Sanford to end it with the fly ball to center field with the bases juiced. So I think now that both pitchers have settled in after that first inning, you know, you've got the butterflies. You feel sick to your stomach. And once it's out of the way, hopefully we'll have a nice, well-pitched ball game. And a couple of runs might be the difference in it.
Todd Haug will lead it off for Illinois. Nick Seibert, Matt Turner to follow. 4, 5, 6 in the Edwardsville order. There's a look at Haug, right-handed hitting catcher. His skipper Ken Shockey told us that his team would not be here without Todd Haug. And it's 0-1. There's a look at Ken Shockey, 46 years of age, the head coach of this Edwardsville team. It's 1-1. Rob, not a lot of people talk about the discipline and the time that it takes for these players, but for the coaches who are volunteer coaches, it's an enormous amount of time.
Right you are, Rich. I mean, you have to really give up a lot to come out here and coach, volunteer your time, and both coaches have given up a couple of months of their lives to come out here and coach all summer. You're not being paid any money. When we talked to Ken Shockey before, that he had to keep asking for more and more vacation time, and just to come out here in the regionals and the World Series, and they really give a lot of themselves to these teams.
Haug rolls it to third. Mackey's throw is in time. Nice play. And there's one out here in the second.
Well, Rich, expect a lot of ground balls from both pitchers. Both pitchers are pretty much, I don't like to use the phrase, but junk baller really comes to mind. They have to mix it up, they have to change speeds, but they have to keep the ball low, and they get a lot of ground balls because of it. And right there, Sigmund got Haug to beat it into the ground for a nice 5-3 put out.
Nick Seibert now. Swing and hits a high pop-up into shallow left. Out goes Hudson, in comes Cobb, and it's Cobb who makes the play. And quickly, there's 2 outs here in the second. And Brian Sigmund has found his groove.
Well, he's changing speeds really well right now, Rich, and he's really kind of found his niche. And once you find that groove, you want to stay in it. He's working ahead well with the breaking pitch, and that sets up all his other pitches. When you have a breaking pitch working for you, and it's an off-speed breaking pitch, the hitters are out front of a lot of pitches, and right there you saw that Seibert was out front of the curveball, and he popped it up.
Matt Bubba Turner now takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Turner, outstanding baseball player, but maybe a better basketball player. Hits that one on the nose to center field. Roberts is there and makes a catch. Say hey. 3 up, 3 down here in the second. Brian Sigmund sailing along. We're headed to the bottom of the second. Championship game of the American Legion World Series.
Are rich people taller than the rest of us? Are their loved ones more deserving of an airbag? Was the sun created solely for their enjoyment? Are we the only car company that doesn't think so? Century by Buick. Full of amenities for under $20,000. Loaded for under $24,000. Century by Buick. A luxury car for everyone.
Where have all the children gone? Long time passing.
No scores. We head to the bottom of the second. Night falling around Las Vegas, Illinois, and North Carolina. James Hutton. And his first pitch is a fastball for a strike to Brian Sigmund, the opposing pitcher. Sigmund will be followed by Wes Anthony and Bryson Willis. Outside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Let's talk about Hutton, Rich, because when he's not doing the pitching, he's doing the catching. And yesterday, he caught his twin brother Ben in their win to get to the final game.
Yeah, Ben not in the lineup tonight. James is a guy that when he pitches, even though he has a good bat, his skipper doesn't like him in the lineup. He just wants him to concentrate on pitching. Swinging a foul tip. In fact, if they go to the bullpen, you might see James go back behind the plate and catch.
Well, James usually catches his brother when his brother's on the hill, Rich. So if his brother comes in to pitch tonight, which he could, you'll see James go behind the dish.
Slow roller towards second. Tim Hansel. Nice play. And so Brian Sigmund is out number 1 here in the second, and that'll bring Wes Anthony.
Well, that time, Rich, Hutton did a great job of getting his pitches over early in the count, and that set up his breaking pitches, and then Hutton's able to throw a breaking pitch away. And all Sigmund can do is just beat it into the ground. Great play here, right, by second baseman Tim Hansel. Throws him out easily.
Wes Anthony, the first baseman for Cherryville, North Carolina. Swings and fouls it off. Cherryville, North Carolina, 40 miles northwest of Charlotte. Bobby Reynolds is their skipper. An engaging man.
Yes, we had a great breakfast with Bobby this morning.
Post 100. That ball's hit well to left field. Seibert going back. It is gone. Wes Anthony. 1-0 Cherryville, North Carolina.
Rich, Wes is going to get a fastball that's up and out over the plate. He does a great job of staying back, making sure he can get all of it. And we're going to see the delivery right here by Hutton as he throws a fastball up and away. He's trying to get a tailing fastball outside. Anthony says, no chance. You're not going to sneak that about 78 to 82 mile an hour fastball by me. He deposits it over the left field wall for a 1-0 lead.
Bryson Willis now. James Hutton loaded the bases in the first. 1 out, nobody aboard here in the second.
And Rich, we talked about either pitcher, if they get the pitches up in the strike zone, they're very hittable. Right there, Hutton got the pitch up, out over the plate. Anthony got his arms extended, and he just drove that ball way to left field.
Willis, a second leadoff guy in the 9 spot. At the knees, and it's 1-2.
And there you saw that really nice tailing fastball.
Cashman Field, Rob, is a great hitter's ballpark if you take it to the alleys and pull the ball. But to dead center, it's 433. That pitch outside corner.
And
2-2.
Ralph Roberts has hit 2 balls over that 433 mark, and that's one of the things that's most impressive to the scouts is his power. That is an absolute bomb to hit it over the 433 mark.
Wind is not a factor tonight. It's a gentle breeze out to left center. That one's into right field. Corey Kuba is there, and there's 2 down. And it's the top of the order, and Brad Lane coming up. It's a week-long festivities here in Las Vegas. The American Legion posts. Obviously, post 100, that's Cherryville, North Carolina, and post 199 of Edwardsville, Illinois. Very happy about the outcome, but all the American Legion posts across the country involved in this. 0-1 now to the leadoff man, Brad Lane. Lane had that single back in the first. North Carolina left the bases loaded in the first, but they have a run here on Wes Anthony's solo homer. Into right field, and Brad Lane is 2 for 2. And now Ralph Roberts, a dangerous hitter, comes to the plate.
Well, Rich, Brad Lane did a great job right there, fastball away. All he did was shoot the right side hole right between second and first, and you're right, he's 2 for 2 in 2 innings.
Roberts a roller to second, and it's 1-0.
And you see right there that Hutton is trying to work Roberts away. Now the pitching coach is going to come out. Justin Sanford on his way out also.
Well, one thing that Illinois did not want to have happen was to be in a situation where they had to pitch to Roberts. Ken Shockey told us today that he didn't want to be in a situation where he had to give Roberts something to hit.
And it's funny, Bobby Reynolds, the Cherryville coach, said that he couldn't believe that they were pitching to Ralph Roberts this whole tournament. And Ken Shockey said, well, I'm not going to pitch to him tonight. If I have the opportunity to walk him or pitch around him, I will pitch around him.
That's why Bobby Reynolds said John Mackey is the most important guy in his lineup. He's the guy that hits behind Ralph Roberts. And that's why they've moved Roberts to the number 2 spot in the order, Rob, because normally you'd have him at 3, maybe 4, but if they're going to pitch around him, he wanted him on base.
Yeah, and you know, you're not going to have a lot of depth on an American Legion team. We were talking about a little earlier that you have maybe 14 guys. Some teams had 10 or 11 players in this tournament. It's very difficult to take a lot of the youngsters away from their summer jobs. Some guys have left early to go and play. You know, we'll talk about that later in the game, but they've already gone to college, so a lot of kids didn't even make this tournament. So you have to really go with what you have, and I think both coaches do a great job of moving their players around to really help their team out as best they can.
Roberts takes a strike, and it's 1-2. And a lot of coaches, when they field their Legion team, they want to give players playing time. So you want to go to your summer ball program or a Legion team where you can get at bats if you're preparing for junior college or college. 16 to 18, these kids, a lot of them high school seniors, college freshmen. Runner goes. The throw to second into center, and Brad Lane is on his way to third. He'll get there with a stolen base and an error on the catcher. Todd Haug's throw.
Innings over, 3 outs.
Oh, Roberts was called out on strikes. Yes. Much to the surprise of everybody in a gold jersey from Edwardsville, Illinois. And much to the relief of their pitcher, James Hutton.
Oh, Dave Hall rung him up. See you later.
So the home run by Wes Anthony, the only run of the inning. It's 1-0, headed to the third.
Summertime vacation is a great reason to get a wireless phone. Sherry Kasberg recently returned from New Mexico and shared how her phone allowed her to...
We move ahead to further action. In the bottom of the fourth, Cherryville, North Carolina added a run on a Brad Lane single, making it 2-0. We go ahead to the top of the fifth. Edwardsville, Illinois at the plate, trailing 2-0. A big part of American Legion baseball and the American Legion World Series is Buick. And this a banquet that was held a few nights ago here in Las Vegas near the opening of the World Series. Buick donates $100 to each Legion post for every Buick that an American Legion member purchases. And over the years now, they've donated $4.2 million. This was a check that was presented for over $500,000 to the American Legion. Buick, a big part, obviously, a sponsor of these games for a long time.
And that's what keeps these games going on, you know, with 5,000 teams. If it weren't for the sponsorship involved locally and at the national level, you couldn't have these teams, all the equipment that's involved, the uniforms, the travel now. If you didn't have corporations like Buick footing the bill, you're nowhere.
Line shot off the bat of Matt Turner. And it's 0-1.
So, I mean, our hats off to all these corporations that, you know, not only donate all the money, but they also donate a lot of people from Buick here at this tournament their time as well.
Bubba Turner a good first baseman and a darn good shooting guard on his high school basketball team. Swing and a miss. And Brian Sigmund's
a darn good curveball.
Yeah. He's given up 3 hits, Sigmund has. Just the 1 strikeout. That came back in the first. Turner flew to center. His only time up. Off the end of the bat, Wes Dirty Hudson in time.
Old Wes Dirty Hudson right there making a great play on a slow roller to shortstop. Matt Bubba Turner getting some more junk. Very hard to hit. Grounds it into the dirt. You need great defense behind you, and Dirty Hudson right there making an easy play, or a tough play, look easy.
And he is dirty.
I think he rubs dirt on himself in between innings. What do you think?
He's got to live up to his name.
Oh, yeah.
He's had his nose in it from the start.
See, now I kind of remember Legion ball. My mom had to wash my uni, and if I came home dirty, I was in trouble.
Chris McCoy hits it high and deep, but Ralph Roberts is out there in center, and he makes the catch. And McCoy is out number 2. Brian Sigmund has worked very quickly, has fallen behind few batters.
Which
I'm sure many of the fans that have come from Edwardsville, Illinois, or Cherryville, North Carolina, have seen Elvis or a reasonable facsimile on this trip.
Well, coming into tonight, Brian Sigmund had an ERA over 5 in the 16 innings or 15 innings pitched. He had gotten rocked pretty good, but he's really pitching a great game so far.
Fastball fouled back behind the plate. Justin Sanford couldn't hold it.
Might even have hit the fence.
Yeah, difficult play. It may have grazed the screen on the way down.
I think that had a piece of the screen. The umpire said, no play.
And so Matt Bogle is still alive at 0-2. 2 outs, top of the 5th. Edwardsville, Illinois. Almost a suburb, about a half an hour out of St. Louis. Curveball hit him. So he came up and in with a breaking pitch on 0-2, and Bogle is aboard.
Well, last part of the inning, James Hutton hit Bryson Willis and put him on first base. He actually walked him. But anytime you hit a hitter at the bottom of the order, this is the number 8 hitter, Matt Bogle. He's throwing a knuckleball inside and high, which is not your good 0-2 pitch. And he puts him on first base with 2 outs. You don't want to do that. You don't want to start putting the bottom of the order on base, bring up the top of the order, get into trouble that way.
Corey Kuba is the hitter, and he takes down low, 1-0. Both of these cities that are represented as well, Rob, have great high school programs. Edwardsville went 40-0 and won the Illinois 2A title. They were ranked 6th in the nation in the USA Today final poll. And Cherryville, North Carolina won the North Carolina State title as well. And it obviously is no surprise that they're here in the championship game. Inside corner, it's 1-1.
Well, Rich, Matt Bogle's getting a lot over at first base, and last inning Bryson Willis did the same thing. He stole second base and set up a nice little RBI single by Brad Lane. So you might see something happen here with Matt Bogle.
Bogle away from first. The throw from Sanford, and he's back in. The tone on the bases was set back in the first inning when Brian Sigmund, the man on the mound, picked Dave Crothers off after a leadoff single to open the game.
Well, I think both managers realize that they're going to have to get their running games going in order to score a run any way they can, because both pitchers are on tonight.
Runner goes, and it's fouled back.
Right there, Matt Bogle off with the pitch. Now it's a 2-2 count, but a 2-1 is an excellent pitch to go on because you know he's going to throw a strike. He can't do a pitch out. And Ken Shockey, the third base coach, giving the sign saying, hey, maybe we should put that same play on.
That uniform should be comfortable on him. He played for this Edwardsville post 199 and is at the age of 42 their head coach.
He's been in coaching since 1978. 20 years of coaching. collegiate level.
The 2-2 in the dirt. Nice block by Sanford. Shockey is he's just hoping that he'll have a job when he gets back home. He said that he's had to call his new boss from the road for about 3 weeks in a row saying, well, we won this tournament. We're still on the road. Well, we won this tournament. He called him from Las Vegas, and he was apprehensive and said, well, boss, I've got another 4 days. And he said, hey, just go win it all, then come on home. Fly ball right center field. Willis and Roberts. This one is going to fall in. And around third comes Bogle. They'll send him to the plate. He will score on an RBI double by Corey Kuba. And the bottom of the order for Edwardsville comes through.
Well, Rich, what really sets this play up is Matt Bogle getting hit by a pitch. The 0-2 pitch by Brian Sigmund put him on first base. Right there, Corey Kuba getting an outside curveball. It's a great pitch. Goes with it. Aluminum bats kind of help you out a little bit. Ball gets by Ralph Roberts, and that allows Matt Bogle to score all the way from first. But that hit by pitch, 2 outs, 0-2 pitch, really cost Brian Sigmund.
Ground ball to third. Mackey, another nice play on to first in time, and the inning is over. But a 2-out rally by Edwardsville, Illinois. Mom and Dad are watching, but Illinois still down a run. It's 2-1, North Carolina, headed to the bottom of the 5th.
When I was
The Yard Dogs are here as well. 2-1 North Carolina on top of Illinois. A lot of the teams that are involved in this tournament, it's an 8-team World Series final, are still in town. And right now, Cherryville post number 100 on top of post 199, Edwardsville, Illinois.
Well, Cherryville's got to get out of town quick. Some of their players need to get to college.
That's right. That one's drilled in the left center field off the bat of John Mackey, and it's extra bases. Over for it is Crothers, and Mackey has a leadoff double in the 5th.
Well, Brian Sigmund gave one up, and John Mackey comes right back and answers with a double to lead off the next inning. Actually, their bottom half of the 5th inning. Just a great fastball down the middle of the plate, except there's not a lot on it at about 80 miles an hour. And John Mackey said, hey, nice BP fastball. I'm going to whack it into left center field.
He's 2 for 3 tonight. And now Wes Hudson, who's been hit by a pitch and has struck out. And you could see Hudson trying to punch it to the right side.
Yes, you could.
It's 0-1.
That's why you have a leadoff type hitter in the 4-hole. If you have nobody else to fill that position, you want a guy with a John Mackey who gets a lot of doubles and a lot of power numbers, good slugging percentage, and you want to move him over to third with less than 2 outs. Try to get him in.
And he did it again. Nicely done. Hansel's throw to first is in time, and Mackey is 90 feet away with 1 out.
Wes Hudson doing a great job. Very unselfish ball player right there. No outs, runner on second base. You're trying to get him over to third. Wes Hudson trying to get a pitch that he can put to the right side of the infield. He does. James Hutton really helping him out. It's basically, I wish he could score to sacrifice so it's not an at-bat, but I'm not that kind of official scorer. I don't make the rules.
Yeah, but a coach or a manager knows a quality at-bat when he sees one.
James Hutton threw him an outside breaking pitch, and Wes Hudson took what he got and put it over the right side of the infield. And that's just fundamental baseball, Rich. I mean, anytime you can get a runner to the third base, and now a fly ball from Josh Cobb gets him in and gets you that lead back, that 2-run lead that you had about 5 minutes ago.
Cobb is 1 for 2. He singled his last time up, and it's inside. It's 2-0. Middle infield is back, so if Cobb can roll one up the middle, it'll score a run. The corners are in.
Well, Josh Cobb right here, he needs to look for a pitch that's kind of middle of the plate and up, something he can drive out into the outfield. You don't want to go after too many pitches that are down low. Josh not really comfortable, so he steps out, calls time. But anything in the air to the outfield is going to score Mackey from third. And
the 2-0 change up, little soft liner. That's not going to get it done. Chad Opel the catch, and a great pitch by James Hutton.
Nah, terrible job right there by Josh Cobb. 2-0 pitch inside on his fist. You don't want to swing at that pitch right there. You want to just wait for a pitch that you can really drive to the outfield. This is a great sinking fastball in on his hands. James Hutton did a great job right there. He had to bow his neck and get an out any way he could, strikeout, pop up, and got a weak pop up to the shortstop.
And now the catcher, Justin Sanford, who's 0 for 2. Good pitch. It's 0-1.
Well, both pitchers, Rich, are making pitches when they have to, getting out of jams. Both pitchers have gotten burned by the bottom of the order. Hutton walked Bryson Willis last inning to give up a run.
That one's outside. It's 1-1.
And Sigmund walked Matt Bogle. Well, actually, he hit him. And Corey Kuba put him in. So you want to work well with the bottom of the order, especially if you're getting the middle of the order, which both pitchers are, getting them out very easily. Ralph Roberts is 0 for 3 so far tonight.
Timeout called. Sanford will step out. James Hutton, Edwardsville, Illinois. North Carolina with a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. The 1-1. In the dirt, blocked by Haug, and he just saved a run. The most difficult pitch to block for a catcher is the one that bounces out in front of the plate, because you never know where it's going.
Right here, here's the pitch from Hutton. Todd Haug is going to do a great job. You see catchers, if you're watching at home, you have to get over and get your body in front of the ball. He blocks the ball. It saves a run right there. You see Hutton coming in, covering home plate. But anytime you call for breaking pitch and you know it's going to be in the dirt, you have to give up your body to keep it from getting by you. And Haug did a great job, Rich, by getting his body in front of that ball.
Hutton comes back to even the count at 2-2. A glance into the dugout.
Well, the pitches are probably coming from the dugout, and so you see Haug looking in at his manager, maybe the pitching coach, getting the signs.
2-2 pitch. Foul back. You could see how sophisticated Haug is, because not only was he giving the sign, you saw him bend his leg to make sure that the base coaches don't get those signs as well.
Oh, yeah. You know, if you can see his left hand, he's blocking the third base coach out from watching the signals.
And watch that right knee.
Yeah, he's got the right knee blocking the first base. This is a great camera view by our crack staff here at ESPN.
The 2-2. Slow roller down the first base side. Hutton, and it rolls foul. And I think he wishes he had a chance to get there a little bit sooner, because with 2 outs, he'd have been out of the inning. Count stays at 2-2.
There's the breaking pitch. You see it down low. Hutton's going to look at it, hope that it goes foul, because it would have been a tough play had he picked the ball up.
Another 2-2 pitch. Hit hard to the shortstop. Opal in the dirt and dug out. Matt Turner, nicely done. Inning over. No runs, a hit, and a runner left. And James Hutton works through the 5th. We played 5. It's 2-1, North Carolina.
Now in Seguin, it's Rent Town, where you have the choice of 12 months.
A shot that only Pink Floyd could love.
Dark Side of the Moon.
You got it. 2-1 North Carolina on top of Illinois. Rich Waltz and Rob Dibble back at Cashman Field in Las Vegas. A 2-1 lead for North Carolina as we head to the 6th. It's a great complex here. You can see it straight ahead. There's an indoor restaurant right above behind home plate. And
absolutely gorgeous facility here. AAA baseball for the San Diego Padres, the Las Vegas Stars.
You know what's amazing about this facility? Everyone comes here and figures it's about a year or 2 old. But it's about, what, 15 years?
15 years in existence. When I got here, I couldn't believe it was 15 years old. It looks like they just built it last week.
Tim Hansel, Chad Opal, and Todd Haug now against Brian Sigmund. Edwardsville, Illinois got a run in the 5th. And that one misses out. It's 1-0. There's Opal, the shortstop, number 3 hitter, who came in hitting, just a shade over 600 in this World Series.
676 to be exact.
On the ground to Wes Dirty Hudson. We've seen some good shortstop play from both Hudson and the man coming to the plate, Chad Opal.
Well, Rich, we talked about both teams have great defenses, and they have to because both of their pitchers not really throwing more than 80 to 84 miles an hour on the gun so far, and you have to be great behind those pitchers because you're going to get a lot of ground balls, you're going to get a lot of action. There's not going to be a lot of strikeouts, although, you know, both pitchers do have a few strikeouts. I think Hutton has 5.
Opal takes his strike, and it's 0-1. The big hit for Edwardsville, Illinois, Corey Kubas. RBI double with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Opal is the number 3 hitter. And Sigmund out in front 0-2. He sort of falls off the mound towards third base side.
Well, that was a drop down pitch right there. He dropped down after he got the nice curveball over for strike 1. Then he can drop down and start throwing some junk after that. And now you're 0-2. You throw just about anything.
That was the anything pitch.
Yeah, that was a breaking ball in the dirt, which I totally agree with. And you could come back with that maybe 2 more times. So Sigmund, he's really throwing all kinds of pitches. And let's watch that. Starts at the right side of the rubber. Finishes and comes back towards first base.
And he drops down again, and it's fouled back. Stays at 1-2.
Well, the only time you don't use that drop down pitch is when a left-handed hitter's standing up there, because that's a nice meaty pitch for a lefty, but to a righty it's a scary pitch.
Popped up right center, shallow. Lane is out, and he's there to make the catch. Quickly, there's 2 outs.
Rich, if you work ahead, you can work all your pitches into your repertoire, and right there you see Sigmund. He worked ahead. He had him 0-2 and threw him a nasty breaking pitch down, and all Chad could do was just pop that up and look pretty sad.
Haug now. And it shows as well, if you've only got 2 pitches, say a fastball and a curveball, if you can vary your release points.
Oh, yeah.
That adds a few entrees to the menu. Haug hits it well into right center field. That one's going to get in the gap, and there'll be extra bases. Around first is Haug. Roberts up with the ball. He'll hold there at second, and it's another 2-out hit for Edwardsville, Illinois.
Well, Todd Haug is one of the power guys on this Edwardsville team, and he's going to get a nice pitch that he can drive into the gap. Sigmund, you see him dropping down. Well, maybe one too many times. Todd Haug was in the on-deck circle last at bat, saw a couple of drop-down pitches, so he knows it's going to be a fastball. Gets the drop-down fastball, and he drops it in for a double.
It's the 5th hit for Illinois. 3 of them have come with 2 outs. Grounder back up the middle and into center field. It's a base hit. Haug around third. He will score, and we got a tie ball game. And Nick Seibert delivers an RBI single to center field.
Well, Rich, both teams doing a lot of their scoring with 2 outs. The pitchers are getting into trouble when they should be getting out of the inning. They get into trouble. Todd Haug had the nice double into right center field, and then Nick Seibert comes up and he gets a nice RBI single to score him with 2 outs. Nick saw the nice drop-down delivery that his counterpart, Todd Haug, had just whacked into right center field. He gets a drop-down fastball, and he gets a base hit right back up the box.
And all of a sudden, Edwardsville, Illinois has tied this ball game. 2 apiece now, with another 2-out rally here in the top of the 6th.
Well, they scored in the 5th with 2 outs, and they score here in the 6th with 2 outs. So Brian Sigmund, right now he's a victim of his own problems, and you get into problems when you have 2 outs and you can't put the other team away, Rich.
Matt Turner now, the Illinois first baseman, with Seibert at first. And Sigmund starts him 0-1.
Bubba Turner.
Bubba bounced to short back in the 5th. Runner goes. It's a ball, and the throw is into center field. Seibert is on his way to third, and he's 90 away with 2 outs.
Well, here's Sigmund's delivery to Justin Sanford. It's a curveball down in the dirt. Very hard to throw runners out on a slow breaking pitch, about 70 miles an hour. Seibert is off and running with the pitch. And once Sanford's throw goes into center field, Seibert can just get up and run to third base.
Little fly ball, it's going to fall, base hit, and Illinois has the lead in this ball game. Matt Turner delivers 3 straight 2-out hits.
Well, Rich, we've seen some really great 2-out fundamental baseball, stealing bases, putting the pressure on the defense. You make the pitchers make his pitches. Brian Sigmund does not make a good pitch to Matt Turner, even though it's just a little punch and Judy type hit in the right field. When you have a run around second and third base with 2 outs, he's going to score on that hit. Seibert scored easily from second base, actually third base, correction. Matt Turner has a nice big RBI to put his team out in front.
Chris McCoy fouls a pitch back, and it's 0-1. The double by Haug, Seibert and Turner delivering RBI singles. McCoy is 0 for 2. McCoy was the kid we told you about, did not play high school baseball, but has had such a great year on his Legion team. He's earned a partial scholarship to Lewis and Clark Junior College.
And McCoy, one of the gamers we've been talking about, he had a deep thigh bruise a month ago. He hurt that deep thigh injury yesterday in their ball game, and he's out there playing tonight.
Curveball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Chris McCoy.
I mean, literally, we were watching the game yesterday. He had to be carried off the field. He still went back in and played the rest of that ball game.
The 1-1. Good fastball that ran in on McCoy. Brian Sigmund has just 1 strikeout.
Some really gritty players out there tonight, Rich.
Yeah, it was maybe the longest injury timeout I've seen in a long time. But they knew with the deep thigh bruise, if they could just get him walking around, he'd go back in. Runner goes, curveball swing and a miss, and Sigmund strikes out McCoy. The inning is over, but Edwardsville, Illinois does some damage. A 2-out rally, 2 runs, 3 hits, all after 2 are out. And guess what? Illinois leads this game, 3-2. Well, there is a long list of Hall of Famers that played American Legion baseball. Guys that have gone into the Hall of Fame, the years they went in. What is it, Rob? What, 60% of...
Over 60% of the active Major League players have played Legion baseball, including Jeff Bagwell, Greg Maddox played here in Vegas. I mean, a lot of players that are out there today have played Legion baseball.
One pitcher faces another. James Hutton to Brian Sigmund. And it's 1-0. Bottom third of the order, but don't listen to that because the bottom third of both orders have been pretty potent tonight. Sigmund's 0 for 2. Fouled at the plate. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Las Vegas, Nevada, the site next year. Middletown, Connecticut.
My neck of the woods.
Will host the American Legion World Series.
I had a gentleman in here last night telling me how bad Middletown used to kick my tail in high school, and I had to tell him, hey, listen, pal, I don't think so. Southington was very difficult to beat when I was playing, even though we only had 9 guys.
Here's the 1-1. That meant plenty of playing time for Rob Dibble. Turner has it. The flip over to the pitcher, James Hutton, in time, and there's 1 out. And that'll bring Wes Anthony to the plates.
Well, Hutton made a great pitch to Sigmund right there. It's going to be a changeup low and away. And Hutton just very economical with his pitches lately. Right here you see that David Cone drop down, slide arm delivery. Throws a changeup. Sigmund off the end of the bat, and you have 1 out.
Let's watch how he works Anthony. You could see him missing in. Anthony took an outside fastball and hit it over the left field fence for a solo homer in the second. But Hutton came back on inside fastballs and got him swinging back in the 4th inning.
Once again, he started him off inside. He's staying inside.
2-0.
Todd Haug doing the catching tonight. Looking in for the signals, saying, hey, what do you want me to throw next? Another inside? Okay, here we go. It's like a fastball inside.
to the first baseman, Matt Turner. And quickly there's 2 outs.
Well,
all of a sudden James Hutton's in a little bit of a rhythm right now.
Oh yeah, and Hutton knew last time he got Wes Anthony to strike out, kind of an emergency hack on an inside fastball, and worked 3 pitches right there in a row inside, and Anthony grounds out weakly to first base.
Bryson Willis now, the number 9 hitter. Outside, it's 1-0. Willis started the 2-out rally in the 4th for North Carolina. He walked, stole second, stole third, and scored on the Brad Lane single. And Lane is on deck with 2 outs here in the 6th. Fouled off. It's 1-1.
Bobby Reynolds showing you those physical education hands.
Yeah.
Cherryville, North Carolina.
Baseball coach and PE teacher. So he has no problem getting time off for this one.
No, he doesn't. He's told us some very interesting stories about principal of his school's name.
Yeah, the 1-1 pitch is fouled back. Now, the principal of East Rutherford High School, which is in Forest City, North Carolina, there's their baseball coach and PE teacher, is named Connie Mack Hamrick. Now, he's not related to Connie Mack, but his father named him after Connie Mack. So he's a baseball fan, so he understands. Pop up, shallow right, going out the second baseman. Tim Hansel makes the catch. Inning over, and all of a sudden, James Hutton is sailing along. He's set down 6 in a row. He's got a lead. It's 3-2, Illinois.
There's a place in Cooperstown, New York, where memories come to life.
When the
top of the 7th inning, Illinois with a 3-2 lead over North Carolina. Edwardsville, Illinois, well represented in Las Vegas tonight. Their number 8 hitter, Matt Bogle, will lead it off. Those are the folks across the way at Cherryville, North Carolina. The moms have got to check out the stats.
Of their little babies.
Not little anymore. Matt Bogle, Corey Kuba, and Dave Crothers now, 8-9-1 in the Illinois order. And that one's hit hard into left field. Matt Bogle has a leadoff single here in the 7th, and that'll bring Kuba to the plate.
Well, Matt Bogle is going to get a Brian Sigmund fastball right here, and he's just going to whack it into left field for a nice single to lead off the 7th inning. And Bobby Reynolds
going to make a change on the mound. So the base hit by Matt Bogle has driven Brian Sigmund from the ball game. And in from center field, their ace, Ralph Roberts. Edwardsville on top, 3-2. All right, Rob Dibble, now we get a chance with Edwardsville on top 3-2 and their leadoff man aboard here in the 7th. We get a chance to see this kid pitch, Ralph Roberts. We told you what he does with the bat, and he struggled tonight with the bat, but that right arm is also another reason the Padres selected him in the draft as well.
Well, this is also a hot commodity right here, his right arm. So far tonight, Ralph Roberts hasn't done it with the stick, but 3-0 in 5 games in the tournament with a very respectable 3.09 ERA. Anytime anything's below 4 with an aluminum bat for the other team. He's got 39 strikeouts and 32 innings pitched, 26 hits. But overall, in the entire tournament, he's got 200 strikeouts, and he is up for the Bob Feller Award for strikeouts in the tournament.
Yeah, his season numbers, you talked about the strikeout numbers. What was he, 40-1 this year?
Well, he was 15-1 this season, but overall in the last 2 seasons, he's 40-1. He's only lost 1 time, and that was in a relief appearance, a lot like tonight. Last night, he got the victory in their ball game to send them to the finals. He came in and pitched 4 great innings, had 5 strikeouts. So tonight, he can pitch 8 innings, as the rule is in Legion Ball. You can go 12 innings in 72 hours.
Here now is Kuba, who might be bunting with Bogle at first, and Roberts misses high. It's 1-0. Fastball is high, and Roberts falls behind Kuba at 2-0. Josh Cobb, who was in left, is now in center field. And Brian Sigmund stays in the game. He's now in left. That pitch is high, and Roberts has fallen behind 3-0.
Well, Rich, last night, Ralph had the same problem when he came into the ball game, and he allowed an early home run, I think, in the second inning of work.
And he walks the number 9 hitter, although Kuba has done damage tonight with 2 hits. It's difficult, Rob, to warm up. You know, you're in the bullpen, you get to loosen up. Then you come in and you get your number of pitches. But if you're in center field, you come in and you get your number of pitches. You don't get that warm up.
You basically get 7 or 8 pitches, whatever the rule is in Legion ball, which is probably 8 pitches because you're so young and they want you to be loose and not hurt your arm. But 8 pitches really isn't enough if you've been standing around in center field and you haven't been warming up in the bullpen like is a luxury with a reliever. And you see his 5th pitch is finally a strike.
Ralph Roberts working to the leadoff man, Dave Crothers, who's 1 for 3. Not bunting, he swings and misses, and it's 0-2.
I really like his poise, though. I mean, he threw 4 straight balls, and then he comes back fastball, and then he drops a nasty curveball on Dave Crothers. So it kind of looks like Ralph's finding a groove here.
Up high, it's 1-2.
The one thing about coming in relief appearances is something that I did in high school when I wasn't starting. I'd play center field or shortstop, and you get that mentality that, hey, I got to throw strikes in a hurry.
And he's out in front now of Crothers. The count 1-2. Crothers had that single back in the first, and he's bounced out twice since.
Dave Crothers is also known as Crazy Crothers for some of his exploits. He is one of the team leaders of that Edwardsville team.
Little pop-up, shallow center, might be trouble. Lane is out, Cobb is in, and Cobb makes the catch. Just over from left field, Josh Cobb with a running catch. And there's 1 out now here in the top of the 7th.
Well, Ralph Roberts threw a great breaking pitch right there. Crothers couldn't do anything with it. Almost turned out to be trouble because it was so weakly hit. Here you see right here, Ralph Roberts throwing the breaking pitch down and away. Crothers is just going to throw the bat at it, but Josh Cobb on his horse. Reminds me of another Cobb yesteryear.
Outside corner. And it's 0-1. That one's past my time.
Well, I
Raymond,
saw some video.
All right, there you qualify that. There you go.
And then a movie a few years back.
Yeah. Bouncer up the middle, into center field. It's a base hit. Matt Bogle around third. Here's the throw from Cobb. He is safe. And it's a 2-run lead now for Illinois. Tim Hansel delivers an RBI single.
Well, Tim Hansel doing a great job right here with the Ralph Roberts breaking pitch. He hits it where it's pitched. It's down the middle of the plate. He just drives it right back up the middle for a base hit, knowing that he's got good speed in Matt Bogle out there at second, and he scores easily on the base hit.
Shortstop Chad Opel, who is 0 for 3 tonight, takes outside. It's 1-0.
Well, Ralph Roberts is sporting a really good breaking pitch, but you saw Hansel went down and got it, drove it into the ground right over Roberts' head for a single up the middle.
Line drive, base hit into right field. Charging is Willis. Here comes Kuba, and he will score. It's 5-2 Illinois. Chad Opel delivers. Hansel stops at third.
Well, there might not be a lot left in the Ralph Roberts arm right now. You know, he threw a lot of pitches last night. He's going on guts right now. He throws a fastball down and in. Chad Opel goes down and gets it. Inside outs it to right field. Bryson Willis came up throwing, but all for naught. Another RBI single for Illinois.
And the first pitch to Todd Haug is fouled back. Edwardsville, Illinois, behind most of the way in this ball game. Now 2 runs in the 6th and 2 more here in the 7th. 1 out, runner goes, swing and a miss. The throw from Samford all the way to second. Safe at second base with a stolen base is Opel, and Hansel holds at third.
Well, Chad Opel's going to get a great job on Ralph Roberts right there. Sees first movement. He takes off. He's grinding, looking, digging towards second base. Sanford with not much of an arm.
Infield.
Nice stolen base for Chad Opel.
Infield in. Roberts 0-2 pitch all the way to the screen. Here comes Hansel, and he'll score. 6-2. Opel now at third. And everything going wrong right now for Cherryville, North Carolina.
Well, Rich, pitching and defense wins you championships, but it also loses you championships. The pitching and defense breaking down right here. 0-2 pitch. Ralph Roberts gets by Sanford. Sanford makes a great play, tries to get it out there, but, you know, great lead at third base by Hansel, and he scored easily right there on the pass ball.
And Todd Haug with a free pass as Roberts missed outside. So a walk now. 6-2. 3 runs across in the top of the 7th.
You know, the Illinois team coming into tonight's game was batting close to 400 in the tournament. So you know that they can hit as a team unit. And they smell blood right now. They're like sharks in the water, baby.
Nick Seibert, RBI single, has flied out twice.
You know, I can remember back, I got drafted by the Cardinals out of high school. And every time I pitched after that point in American Legion and in high school, the championship, I got bombed because the other team had read the papers also, and they knew I had gotten drafted, and they wanted to show everybody, hey, we can beat draft picks, and 27th round pick by the Padres is taking a beating right now.
Fastball is up. Runner at third base is Chad Opel. The strikeout of Haug, and now Seibert, who had an RBI single back in the 6th. What round were you?
11th round pick as an outfielder.
Foul back. Full count, 3-2.
It's funny, about 50 pounds ago, when I was a 185-pound soccer player also, and a little bit of hockey in there, had great speed, and I was actually drafted ahead of Vince Coleman as an outfielder. So it's kind of a little trivia, and then became a pitcher.
3-2 pitch fouled off and lost your speed.
I don't know about that. You can still run to the fridge pretty quick for a sandwich.
Full count here on Nick Seibert. I won't argue. With Chad Opel at third base. A big inning for Edwardsville, Illinois. Here's Ralph Roberts' pitch. On the ground to short. Hudson got him. Inning over. But lots of damage here. 3 runs on 3 hits. And Illinois all of a sudden in control, up 6-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th.
Chuck Nash leads the pack with great deals, and you're the winner during the NASCAR 300 because the Chuck Nash Used Car and Truck Superstore must sell 300 vehicles by Labor Day. Take the checkered flag and a 97 Chevy Cavalier for $0 down and just $199 a month. Yes, just $199 a month. Or drive a 97 Chevy Lumina to the winner's circle with $0 down and just $249 a month. Wow, $249 a month. Plus, all qualified used cars include a 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty. You're in the driver's seat during the NASCAR 300 at the Chuck Nash Used Car and Truck Superstore in San Marcos.
This month on TCI Digital Cable Pay-Per-View. When scandal hits the White House, Washington's top spin doctor.
Just got to distract him.
And Hollywood's top producer. Team up.
You want me to produce your war?
Edwardsville, Illinois on top of Cherryville, North Carolina. 6-2. North Carolina's top of their order up. And Brad Lane into center field. That's his 4th hit of the ball game. He's 4 for 4. A leadoff single here in the 7th.
Problem being is they haven't done anything to really complement Brian's good hitting. Ralph Roberts is 0 for 3 so far tonight. John Mackey, though, is 2 for 3, but hasn't been able to get Brian in. Off-speed pitch right there, delivered by Hutton. Brad Lane just takes it right back up the middle. It's a great piece of hitting. You hit it for the youngsters out there that are watching. Wherever the ball's pitched, you just hit it. Whack it hard with that aluminum bat. And hopefully it'll sneak through there like it just did for a single.
Ralph Roberts now 0 for 3.
I think
0-1.
With that swing right there, Ralph Roberts was trying to get a 2-run Johnson over the scoreboard. A lot of venom. A little bitter about last inning. Right now, he just needs to be patient. Best thing you can do right here for your ball club is just get some singles.
In the dirt, Haug blocks it. Well, Roberts had been chewing up pitching not only this season but in this American Legion World Series. And the Edwardsville, Illinois game plan was not to pitch to him, but they have, and they've done it successfully. He's bounced into fielder's choice twice, and he struck out.
Well, he struck out looking back in the second inning on a pitch that was about a foot outside, so we really can't blame Ralph for that one. But a couple other balls have just been beat into the ground. You need to just wait back and get your pitch right here.
2-1. James Hutton into his 7th inning of work. He had retired 6 in a row before the Brad Lane single to lead off here in the bottom of the 7th. But he's got a 4-run lead right now. It's 2-1. And he's fallen behind the dangerous Ralph Roberts at 3-1.
Well, Ralph's being very patient right now, which is the best thing he can do for his ball club. I'm sure Bobby Reynolds told his team when they came off the field, listen, we need some base runners. You're not going to win it with a 2-run homer or a 3-run homer. We need to get 4 runs just to tie this ball game up, so we need to put some runners on base.
3-1 pitch. Outside corner or thereabouts.
Well, it's been a strike all night, Rich, and you know, Ralph cannot let the umpire dictate what he's going to do with the bat. You know, as a pitcher, if you're getting a lot of balls called, you can't shake your head and show up the umpire because he's just going to make it tougher on you. It's the same thing for a hitter. You can't walk around and show him up where he's going to make it tough on you.
3-2 pitch. Even further out, and this time Roberts is on his way to first base. First time he's been on tonight. He walked, and it puts Lane at second, Roberts at first, and a guy who's had some great at-bats tonight, John Mackey, who's 2 for 3, comes to the plate. Runners first and second now for Cherryville, North Carolina, and here's Mackey.
And you know, John Mackey could be the smartest player on this Cherryville team. 1,300 on his SATs.
He may not be the smartest guy in the ball game, though.
No, there's also some very, very bright young men that are out there across from the field.
Andrew Honegger, infielder, wants to go to MIT on that Illinois roster.
How do you spell MIT? Oh.
Runners first and second. Mackey.
Over there on Edwardsville, the Hutton twins. James pitching tonight, and his brother Ben both going to St. Louis University
to be a Billiken,
and they both want to be get this, chemical engineers. So some pretty smart twins.
The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Of course, you and I in our college baseball careers came out with impressive.
I hate to say I didn't last long at college.
Not really.
I was a much better baseball player than a student.
I finished, but the scouts never came to see me. 0-2 the count now on Mackey. Roberts at first, Lane's at second. Here's Hutton's pitch. Popped him up, first base side. Over is Turner, and he runs out of room. And it stays at 0-2.
Well, John Mackey on that last pitch is going to get an inside fastball, and as he sees the ball might be playable, he's going, oh, please, kind of Carlton Fisk-esque, except he wants this ball to go foul, not fair. Please go foul. And it did. He's still got another shot, 0-2 right here.
Bobby Reynolds called John Mackey his best clutch hitter, even though he came in at 279 in the World Series. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Hutton's gone a little over 6 innings now. He's over 100 pitches. The 0-2. A ball and 2 strikes.
Rich, last night John Mackey hit the inside the park home run that turned out to be the winning run that has put Cherryville in the final. So Bobby Reynolds not that far off about the clutch hitting of one John Mackey.
And maybe the longest inside the park home run in American Legion World Series history. 433 feet to straightaway center, and it didn't leave the yard. Swing and a miss. And James Hutton gets a big strikeout for the first out of this 7th inning.
Rich, that was a huge pitch right there by one James Hutton. Got to be getting tired throwing over 100 pitch in less than 7 innings. John Mackey trying to get something going, swinging at a bad pitch. Hutton's going to throw him a slider outside, down and away. John Mackey trying to be the hero, trying to do too much right there with very little, and he strikes out swinging.
Wes Hudson. Little changeup. It's 0-1.
Little. Huge changeup right now. And Cherryville has been off balance all game. Only 2 runs. Very powerful Cherryville team, but when you got a junker out there, very hard to hit the ball when he's changing speeds on you.
You power pitchers always use that term, don't you? Here's the 0-1 pitch. Some would say finesse.
Finesse, junk ball. Well, you know, the thing is, all power pitchers wish that we had some of their junk, because then we'd stay around in the big leagues longer. But, you know, finesse pitchers, they throw 3-4 pitches for strikes, and most power pitchers throw maybe 1 or 2 pitches for strikes. So there's a big difference there. Sometimes you're saying, well, do I want a knuckleball? Do I want to throw close to 100? I kind of chose the latter.
0-2 to Hudson. Ground ball to the second baseman. Hansel onto short. Dropped by Opal. Everyone's safe, and steaming to the plate comes Lane. He will score.
Oh, big error right there, Rich.
We had seen perfect defense.
Yes.
Until this inning. And Wes Hudson, with what looked like at least a force out at second. I'm not sure if they'd get Hudson back at first.
And Chad Opal is the big stud for the Edwardsville, Illinois team, and he was trying to get 2 right there. You know, in a rally situation, you want to be sure of 1 out. You're always sure you get that first one before you try and get the second one, and because he was looking 2 right there, he bobbled the ball, dropped it, and a run comes in right now for Cherryville, and they're in trouble.
Hutton now working with Josh Cobb at the plate. Cobb hit a line drive to Opal at short his last time up. He is singled and struck out. One and 0.
Well, Rich, instead of there being 2 outs and maybe a runner on first base and James Hutton looking very strong, now he's got runners on first and second with 1 out and a run in.
And time is called on his way out.
Ken Shockey,
the skipper of Edwardsville, Illinois. Shockey coming out. And in the bullpen, a right-hander loosening up. That's David Hutton.
Well, Dave Hutton's got 3 innings left in him because he pitched 9 innings yesterday in the complete game win to get his team into the final. So he's got to have a pretty tired arm.
His first name's David. He goes by Ben.
Yes, David Ben Herr Hutton.
In the bullpen. Skips that one up to the plate. Does James.
You know, and if Ben comes in to pitch, his twin James might go back and do the catching.
Good chance of that.
Yep. Ken Shockey telling us that he likes to have the brothers work together.
The 2-0. Floats high. It's 3-0. Justin Samford on deck. Josh Cobb waiting this 3-0 pitch with 1 out. Runners first and second. A 6-3 Illinois lead. But North Carolina has pushed across a run here in the bottom of the 7th. And the bases are juiced.
Well, Ken Shockey this morning was telling Rich and myself that he is so impressed by his Edwardsville team. They really pull together. When anybody bobbles the ball like Chad Opal did and makes an error, they don't get down on each other. They pick each other up and build each other up. And, you know, right now they need somebody right here to make a play to help their team out of the inning. Ken Shockey's hoping anybody out there can give him a great play and get him out of this.
Middle infield back looking for two, and James Hutton misses outside. You can see the corners in. Chris McCoy at third. Opal and Hansel are back, and Turner at first is in front of the bag.
Well, Ken Shockey's defense right now, the corners will come to home, and if there's a ball hit up the middle to the infielders, they're going to try and turn two to get out of the inning. So that's one of the many defenses you can have right here. Late in the ball game, though, I'm surprised he's not trying to cut the run off, but that's why I'm up here and he's down there.
He's got a 3-run lead. 0 for 3 is Sanford. Fly ball, well hit, left center. Room for Crothers or Seibert. It's Crothers who makes the catch. Both runners will tag. Only one will continue as Roberts will score. Hudson holds at second, and Sanford delivers a sacrifice fly, and it's a 6-4 ball game. 2 runs across here in the 7th.
Well, every run is huge in a ball game, especially a championship ball game. And right there, Justin Sanford doing a great job. Got a pitch he could drive. If you can't get a hit, an RBI sac fly ball is just as good as a hit, especially in that situation, and he does just that. Long fly ball to the outfield, and now it's only a 2-run lead for Illinois.
Runners go. The pitch to Sigmund, swung on and missed, and it's a double steal. Hudson swipes third, Cobb swipes second.
Well, great execution right there by the Cherryville, North Carolina team. They pull off a double steal. Now pass ball gets you 1, base hit gets you 2. Anything can happen in this ball game. It's still wide open.
James Hutton trying to get through the 7th. His twin brother Ben is ready if needed. Sigmund's 0 for 3. It's 1-1.
Well, both managers were nervous about their pitching. Pitching is a premium, especially in a long summer like this. Not a deep team. Very hard to have good pitching all the time.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
So what ultimately happens is a James Hutton, who's thrown well over 100 pitches, has to stand out there and suck it up for his team because they're very short on pitching. You know, your brother just pitched 9 innings yesterday, and he might come in from relief for you.
Swing and a miss. The brother didn't need to come in. James strikes out Brian Sigmund. Ben stays in the bullpen, but 2 runs across for North Carolina. We've played 7. It's 6-4 Illinois. 6-4 ball game. Illinois on top. We head to the top of the 8th inning. Ralph Roberts still on the mound for North Carolina. Matt Turner, Chris McCoy, Matt Bogle scheduled for Edwardsville, Illinois. Roberts into his 2nd inning of relief, and he misses high. It's 1-0. He took over for Brian Sigmund, who went the first 6 innings. Roberts came in to finish the 7th, gave up a couple of RBI singles. And he's fallen behind 2-0 now. The 2-0. And it's 2-1. Bubba Turner had that big hit back in the 6th inning. He's also bounced out and flied out. And Ralph Roberts evens the count at 2-2. That pitch is high. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Edwardsville, Illinois defeated State College, Pennsylvania in the semifinals last night. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball left field. Sigmund makes the catch. And there's 1 out. Jefferson City, Missouri, Danville, California, State College, Pennsylvania, Las Vegas, Brooklawn, New Jersey, along with Cherryville, North Carolina, and Edwardsville, Illinois, and Excelsior, Minnesota, the 8 teams that advanced to the finals of the American Legion World Series. Here's McCoy now. Roberts with a chance really to gather himself and settle down to start this inning.
Yeah, and I'm sure his team getting a couple of runs in the bottom half of the 7th inning eases a little bit of the pain of what he did last inning.
Out in front 0-2.
Rich, he's really throwing a tremendous curveball right now. Whenever you're breaking a curveball off like that, which I consider a 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock type curveball because you're throwing it straight down, the hitters are really going to have no chance because it looks fastball all the way and then the bottom just drops out.
The bottom ain't dropping out on that one. It's deep to left field and gone. Chris McCoy, his 4th homer of the World Series. And it's 7-4 Illinois.
Well, Rich, you know, 0-2, you really have to make a pitch, something out of the strike zone. You don't want to have anything too close, and it's a very young mistake. I mean, these guys are 16 to 18 years old. They're going to make a lot of mistakes. 2 great curveballs in a row. Then you throw a bad fastball in the inside part of the plate. The hitter's just begging, praying for a fastball. Chris McCoy gets it, bad thigh and all, and he just smokes it out in the left field.
Over the 20-foot wall in left. And Matt Bogle fouls off a pitch. It's 0-1.
Well, you know, it's just a shame in that situation. You know, your team gets you a couple of runs, get you back in the ball game. You're working hard.
That one's hit hard into left center field. Into the gap. Sigmund over to cut it off. And Bogle's going to hold there with a single. And Edwardsville, Illinois, with a run across here in the 8th inning. And their number 9 hitter, Corey Kuba, who's 2 for 2, comes to the plate.
Well, Rich, we've talked a lot about pitching. You know, it's a commodity, especially in this summer league. And right now, Ralph Roberts is probably really tired. He plays every day, plays center field when he's not pitching.
And he pitched last night in a tough situation.
I mean, it's hot out here. It's 90 degrees plus, even at 9 o'clock at night right now. And I'm sure he's a really tired young man right now.
He went 4 innings last night. One ball, 1 strike.
In 6 games in the tournament, he's got 3-0 record, and 3 starts and 3 relief appearances. And
runner goes, and he's gone. Justin Samford throws out Matt Bogle. 2 outs here in the 8th.
Well, Samford hasn't made a lot of good throws tonight, but with the harder throwing Roberts, he gets a chance to throw somebody out. And he makes Matt Bogle his victim. Great throw right there.
There's your breaking pitch, and it's 2-2 now to Corey Kuba.
Yeah, and you know, you throw a lot of breaking pitches also. That's a lot of wear and tear on your arm and gives you the old tired arm. But, hey, Ralph's hanging tough.
On adrenaline. Swing and a miss. And Roberts finishes the inning. But Chris McCoy does some damage here in the 8th. A 1-out solo shot. Illinois, a 3-run lead headed to the bottom of the 8th. Well, right now, Illinois on top of North Carolina. A big home run. Chris McCoy, the 3rd baseman for Illinois.
Is he the real McCoy?
He's close.
The Hatfields and the McCoys, that's kind of a North Carolina deal, isn't it? A little feuding down south.
The pitch to Anthony, and he fouls it off. And it's 0-2. Anthony has a home run as well. He took an outside fastball to left field back in the 2nd inning. James Hutton survived the 7th. His 0-2. And he misses outside. It's 1-2. Both coaches told us this morning, Rob, that their pitchers would be pitching basically on adrenaline because everybody they had was a little bit tired. Fly ball center field. Crothers is there, makes the catch, and there's 1 out. Obligatory at any level of baseball. When you're down 3 in the 8th, the Rally Caps make an appearance. Some have yet to get with the program, though.
Well, the one great thing about a Legion ball is it's pretty much everybody in your own high school. You know, you see like the Little League World Series and the Big League World Series are all-star teams, but these guys, they play together during the regular season, and they also play together the whole summer. And there's so much camaraderie just amongst themselves, and now they've been in hotels for the last 3 weeks. It's just a great thing to see amongst young men.
Bryson Willis, Cherryville right fielder. Outside corner. It's 0-2.
You know, Rich, some of the players here tonight that do go on to the minor leagues, you're going to have to learn to live with guys for 9 straight months, 7 days a week, and you know, this is a good start for them.
The 0-2. And it's 1-2. Well, last night, Ben Hutton went the distance. 9 innings. In a big win, 9-3 over State College. And tonight, his brother James has worked into the bottom of the 8th inning. Line drive by the diving McCoy. And Bryson Willis has his first hit of the ball game. It's a 1-out single here in the 8th.
Well, Hutton was way ahead with the 1-2 pitch right here. He's going to come in and try to get a fastball by Willis. Willis not having any of it. Hutton throwing around 80 miles an hour, and Ken Shockey might be making a switch right here.
There's a look at Shockey. He's on his way to talk to home plate umpire Dave Hall. Whether he's talking about a switch, I think he is. I think he's made the decision to make the switch. And there's a look at his twin brother. Ben Hutton is going to take over for James. And I think James is going to throw the catching gear on and go to work behind the plate.
Well, talk about keeping it all in the family. You pitched 9 innings last night. Your brother throws 7+ good innings tonight. But then again, Ben's got the better of the deal because his brother worked hard tonight. Now James has to don the catching equipment and go back there and catch him. So,
and he caught him last night as well.
Yeah. Yep, very similar pitching styles. They both drop down, and throw a lot like David Cohn. And I wonder how good his arm feels right now.
David Ben Hutton, Edwardsville High School.
Got the Tony the Tiger looking gear.
And so James Hutton meet Ben Hutton. And the twins go to work. You think one twin shakes the other off, or they're pretty much on the same page?